Next on the list is an area I don't know if it's in between our area and Buzz's area, in between Darby and Long Island. I think it's more.
The riots?
It's about the riots. Have you heard about this in your neck of the woods, Buzz? The Delaware Shyrna State Prison in Delaware. In the state penitentiary.
I didn't hear that news, no.
All right, so let's bring it up to those around the world that do not know. Go ahead, Chris.
Apparently, okay, here we go. So they felt like they weren't being treated right. So they took over the prison, held them off for what, like a day, 2 days, something like that?
Yeah, a day and about a day. It was like 15, 16 hours, something like that.
Whatever. So, like, a day and a half, whatever, But so one guard got killed and another one injured.
Yeah. Now, to those who remember the TV show Prison Break from back in the day, this is exactly what happened on Prison Break. Who would have thought that, like, 10 years later it would happen in real life? A riot breaks out. Yeah, a riot actually breaks out. It was only in one building of the prison, where in Prison Break it was the entire prison.
Like wildfire.
Right, in the show. But in this situation, this is Shyrna State Prison in Delaware. One building rioted. It got to the news in Philly. Smyrna is not that far away from us. You know what I mean? When I lived in Delaware, I knew a couple people that got sent off to Smyrna. So, my ex-girlfriend's brother almost went there. So, this
ain't no whacking nut. So.
Huh?
We ain't talking about whacking nut no more.
Yeah, we're talking about the state.
We're talking about, state.
We're talking about state. Well, every prison in Delaware is a state prison. By the way, there are no county prisons in Delaware.
Nice.
But this one, again, rioted. One CO got knocked off. Another one ended up getting injured. And honestly, in Prison Break, it was like 6 got injured and like 2 died. So it wasn't as bad. But this was real deal. The what do you call it? The National Guard had to go in there and fucking basically tear gas the place. And, he got a couple of injured prisoners out of the deal. And, yeah. So, any thoughts on this?
It is what it is, man.
I would like to see how they pulled it off. I'd like to hear about that.
I'm sure we can pull it up real quick. Let's look it up and see if we can look up the actual.
You're not going to get much information from it, dude. Or you're going to get lies. Either one.
Well, it's got to be.
The news isn't going to tell you the right thing.
No.
Well, let's get what the news says anyway.
All right,
here we go. Hold on.
It's all bullshit, to be honest with you.
All right, well, can I fucking get to it now?
The media is a conglomerate of the larger fucking picture, which is oil companies and big companies and shit like that. You know that.
All right, here we go. This is New York Times 2 hours ago. This is the most recent thing that I am seeing, and this is New York Times.
New York Times, Buzz don't know nothing about it? What the fuck?
Here we go. Well, it's New York. I don't know. That's good thinking, but... Here we go. Smyrna, Delaware.
People once in a while, you know what I mean?
Hey, not for nothing, but this is the New York Times, you know? I'm talking about Delaware, you know what I mean?
It's pretty big.
Hey, nothing like the town of... Nothing like that. In New York, Delaware's nothing more than a town, you know what I mean? All right, here we go. This is the official New York Times thing here. Smyrna, Delaware. A concern mounted... Here we go. I'm just going to read it. A concern mounted about 2 workers held hostage inside a Delaware prison. Law enforcement officers smashed a backhoe. It's actually B-A-C-K-H-O-E. Through the doors.
Backhoe.
And... Yeah, backhoe. Well, it said backhoe. That's what you know how I am. Through the doors in pre-dawn darkness on Thursday, retaking the building after an 18-hour standoff. Inside, they freed... 18 hours, yeah, so 2/3 of a day.
Just a bad day.
They freed a prison counselor, but their fears were confirmed when they found a longtime corrections sergeant unresponsive. 23 minutes after officers breached the building, the Sergeant Stephen R. Floyd, 47 years old, was pronounced dead. Geoff, like jerk-off, Klopp, president of the Correctional Officers Association of Delaware, said the takeover of Building C at the James T. Vaughn Correctional Center on Wednesday was no spontaneous outburst, but a planned act by inmates who had conducted dry runs of misbehavior to gauge how well officers would contain them. The inmates practiced to see what our response was going to be, so they actually had time to practice a riot before they actually rioted. Inmates took 4 prison employees hostage on Wednesday morning, but freed 2 of them over the next several hours. The 2 who were released had broken bones, lacerations, and bruises, Mr. Klopp said. Man, a name like Klopp just reminds you of an asshole for some reason. I don't know who this guy is, but he just seems
Klopp.
Klopp, Mr. Klopp. Sounds like a fucking school teacher that you fucking would hate. Oh, I gotta go.
I almost thought you said stool teacher, but anyway.
Well,
moving on.
Neither state officials nor Mr. Klopp would address how Sergeant Floyd, a 16-year veteran of the department, had died, or why he might have been targeted. Probably because he was a fucking dick. In fact, officials avoided saying, yeah, right, that's probably why. They let the other 2 go, probably because they were cool. In fact, officials avoided saying explicitly, whatever, I can't read, that he had been killed by inmates or when during the siege he was injured or died. At this time, I'm not able to give you a motive for the attack, Robert Coote, Secretary of the Delaware Department of Safety and Homeland Security, said at news conference. He would not describe the weapons used against the officers, but most likely a fucking shank or something like that. But some inmates had sharpened instruments. That's what I just said, a shank or something like that. An autopsy was planned for Sergeant Floyd, so he has not gotten the blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read all this. This is too fucking much. To save money, the state has relied on officers working overtime rather than filling 90 vacant positions. So, you know, that. What do you expect? When they got all these officers working overtime, they're not hiring people. This is how it always is. This is how it was in Prison Break 10 years ago. Same exact thing. It was like exactly the exact same thing that I read and what they wrote in the show.
You're the show on cable and then just fucking did it.
Yeah, well, I mean... Let's see here. 120 inmates were in the building at the time as suspects, but the prison is located in Shyrna between Wilmington and Dover. Houses 2,500 inmates overall. So yeah, there you go, bro. Like fucking Here we go. Last little thing I'll say about this, because we got to move on. But it says, on Wednesday, 46 inmates left the building and surrendered outside. By early Thursday, there were 74 inmates and 2 hostages left inside. The inmates who had surrendered provided officials with information about the barricades and the location of the hostages. So there you go.